Hi everyone. So today we're going to show you a demo on how to maximize Gen AI using deep research, specifically for research and development. So for this example, we're going to use Perplexity. Now, just to give you a context what Perplexity is, this is an AI-powered answer engine that combines powerful language models with live web search to give concise, cited answers instead of just a list of links or chat only experience. So it is designed specifically for comprehensive deep research, fact checking, and also on academic learning as well. You can ask questions like using natural language, and then you can also use it to search in the web for real time sources. So there's a lot of use case. And you can also even build a dashboard using Perplexity from data sources where you have pulled it. Okay, now as we can see, I'm currently using the Perplexity Enterprise. Just a disclaimer that the features that I might show you today may not be available on the regular Perplexity free version or the regular Pro version because some of these features are currently available on Enterprise Pro and Enterprise Max. Okay, so let's start. So this is the user interface of Perplexity, and then you can go to Home, you can click Discover, you have the option to actually create space. What this feature is you can actually create a custom AI assistant, a tailor fit specific on your needs. For example, you can also use this like a custom GPT or a Gemini Gems. But and you also there is a feature where you can actually use this for finance purposes. Like for example, you can see the market pricing, so you can already get insights like for example, you wanted to check what is the current crypto pricing, like for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. You can also um, get insights about politics. And then there's also a search option here at the same time. So if you wanted to, let's say, check the price of Texas Instrument, so you can get insights as to what's happening. So it can help you make informed decisions when it comes to investing. But for now, we're going to focus on deep research. Now, before we dig into that, so we need to make sure that we understand at least a bit of prompt engineering because that's a very important skill that we need to ensure that we have so that we can get the optimal result when we're going to use these types of Gen AI ecosystem platforms. So, just to give you a brief background, prompt engineering is the art and science of crafting instructions. So, similar to software engineers, coders, the form of instruction that they are using are in the form of code syntax so that the machine can understand it. With Gen AI ecosystems like standalone chatbots like Perplexity, Gemini, Claude, Grok, DeepSeek, we are going to use natural language to craft instructions. So what happens is those instruction gets translated into content like text, codes, images, videos, audios, and you can even also use it to, let's say, summarize or analyze certain images or even a video itself. Okay, now just to give you a brief component of effective prompts, please keep in mind that we need to make sure that our prompts have to be specific. Now, what this means is it clearly defines the task or questions you want the AI to address. Let's say avoid any vague or ambiguous language. Next is make sure to provide context. What it means is this gives the AI relevant background information to understand the context of your request. Also, tone matters. Why? It's because you need to set the appropriate tone for the AI's response, whether it's formal, informal, or technical, depending on who your audience is. Next is make sure to provide examples. Include examples to illustrate the desired output format or style to ensure that the AI model understand its nuances or the difference between those words, phrases, and so on and so forth. Next is we need to make sure we understand how to experiment, test, and refine. Note that this is not a one-shot thing where when you ask AI to do something, it can do it 100% perfect. Okay, so it needs the human in the loop framework where you apply the basic human decision and human understanding before you choose whether this specific AI response is accurate for you or not. Okay, so you don't have to be afraid to try different prompts and refine them based on the AI's responses. Next is know or understand your audience. Tailor your prompts to the intended audience, considering their level of understanding and expertise. Also, clarity is the key. Use clear and concise language. As much as possible, avoid jargons and complex terminologies unless if this is domain specific to your, let's say, expertise, or let's say when you're trying to build something specific to a certain product or certain industry or vertical. Okay. And then next is structure helps. So make sure that you organize your prompts in a much logical and structured manner to facilitate a much better comprehension. So, meaning, if it's properly structured, the AI model can better understand it. Next is use reliability checks. So, incorporate mechanisms to verify the accuracy and reliability of the AI generated content. So, you can you I can actually show you how to do it. And then next is we're going to use some of the common prompt engineering frameworks that I usually use, although there's a lot of it. For example, zero shot prompting, few shot prompting, chain of thought prompting, and one of the common prompting techniques is called prompt chaining, which means that you also apply questioning the AI's responses, making sure that it's giving you the optimal result. Okay, so I'm going to show you first one of the basic um, prompting that I am using, which is the RTF, which is role, task, and format. So, role means that you define the role of the AI model you want to assume. Let's say, for example, you want Perplexity to act as a project manager or a data analyst, or let's say an R&D specialist. Next is you need to make sure to define the task. Clearly state the task you want the AI to perform. Let's say you want the AI to perform or conduct a deep research specific for an industry like manufacturing, retail, e-commerce, and so on and so forth. Next is you need to make sure to state the format. Specifically, you need to state the format for the AI response. For example, you want the deep research to be on a bulleted format. You want the deep research to include tables or let's say graphs. And then also there is a bit complex prompt instruction that I'm using, which is called the CREATE framework. So this also works best, especially if you are, let's say, working on a more comprehensive or complex task. So we start with the character. So similar to the role, you just need to make sure that you define the character of the AI model. Let's say you want it to act as a, let's say, AI researcher or a tutor or a teacher. And then next is you need to make sure that you are clearly defining what type of request. Let's say, for example, you want the AI model to build you a dashboard which includes like the necessary visual representations like the charts, the graphs, and so on and so forth. Next is make sure to provide examples. So provide examples or context to guide the AI's output, which means this includes like the differences or the nuances, making sure that the AI model specifically understands what you need and avoiding any vague contents. Next is you need to make sure to provide the adjustments. So what it means that this refines the AI task and adds any constraint or specific requirements. Let's say, for example, only use words a fifth grader would understand, or the summary should be no more than 3 sentences. And then next is make sure to apply the type of output. This specifies the desired format for the AI's response, example, a bulleted list, in comparison table, or a concise summary of a formal email. Next is review the summary and check if it includes like the project's current budget status or an updated timeline. Score the output and scale of 1 to 5 for completeness against these three criteria. So these are example requests, okay? So to make sure that the AI model fully understands what you want it to do. Okay, so we will go ahead and proceed with the example of prompt framework. Now, I do have an example prompt framework here, which I already tailor fit or curated using the Create framework. So as we can see, it says here you are a senior R&D and market intelligence specialist with expertise in Gen AI powered research, product development, market analysis, customer insights, and competitive intelligence. You specialize in synthesizing large data for factual, reliable, and verified sources, including industry databases, market reports, surveys, user behavior analytics, and published research. You think analytically and communicate in a clear, concise language suitable for decision makers across vertical and horizontal business functions. Now, as we can see, it also indicates what type of request, for example, R&D deep research, market research, vertical and horizontal business alignment, that like it's actually giving us what type of horizontals like marketing, operation, customer experience, data, product, legal compliance, strategy, and so on and so forth. There's also a request here for Perplexity to create a dashboard. Let's say, for example, I want the dashboard to be visual, summarizing the key findings like the charts, graphs, heat maps, tables, or any visual elements that includes market size and growth trends, customer sentiments, competitive positioning, product performance metrics, opportunity scoring matrix. And then it also includes examples, let's say examples for product research, product development, product updates, quality control, and then also dashboard examples. And then for the types of adjustments, it says that it has to be clear, simple language without jargons. So also it also includes like avoid overly technical terms unless necessary. And the next is it's saying here to provide like the what type of output. Let's say I wanted to the deep research content to include like an executive summary and then an R&D deep research report. And then also for the evaluation, I've included to make sure that it only pulls accurate and factual sources and also make sure it is clear, digestible, and free of unnecessary jargons. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this entire prompt instruction and then I'm going to show you how to use this using Perplexity's deep research capabilities. So I have pasted this prompt instruction. As we can see, there are options for you to use the search function, research, and then labs. Although we're not going to dig deeper into labs, we're going to use this research because that's how we can utilize the deep research capabilities of Perplexity. And then I'm going to hit submit. Okay, so we're just going to allow a couple of minutes. Now this section, this is where Perplexity shows us its reasoning, the types of resources or website it's trying to pull or scrape. Now you might be wondering how Perplexity gets those or how they pull those data. So first thing is there's what we call RAG or retrieval augmented generation. So this is a method of um, an AI model could pull real-time data source from open source APIs like websites, blog posts, and other materials. And then what we're going to show you is it's here, like it's actually showing us the progress. Like for example, it's saying here that assessing global market projection and innovation investment trends to inform life cycle management and strategic R&D prioritization. So it actually shows you exactly where it's trying to pull the data. And it's also showing us like the Python script, and then also it's trying to pull like certain files from CSV. It's saying here create a structured dataset of 2025 and creating a structured Gen AI application datasets to guide R&D prioritization and adoption across key products and market insights. Okay, so let's go ahead and just wait for a couple of minutes because deep research capability takes some time to ensure its accuracy. So as we can see, this is the actual prompt instruction that I copied from this document that I've created. So let's go back to Perplexity. So it's working. It says here 0 minutes remaining. It says here creating a horizontal bar chart to visualize 2030 market sizes by sector, colored by CAGR for quick cross vertical insights. So let's just go ahead and wait for a couple of minutes because it takes some time for it to actually generate the content. Okay, so it's also showing us a Python script here, although we can actually pull it here. When we click this, this will show us the actual Python script. This is applicable for developers and software engineers. And then we can also click the tab. This is where it will pull us through the original prompt instruction. And then the assets, it shows it like the market sector, and then the trend, and then it's also giving us, it's drafting the necessary visual representation, data, dashboard. And then let's go back to answers. So as we can see, if you see this button, which means that Perplexity is still working on your request. And then let's see, it says here consumer behavior trends for 2025 showing adoption rates and strategic priority levels across 8 key areas. And then if we go back again to assets, so if we scroll down, it's already trying to create the necessary visual representations we're asking, like the specific dashboard. It says here, like we can see like the KPI metrics, importance score, industry average target, methodology, usage rate, speed score, flexibility score. Then let's go back to the deep research. And then also you have the option to either you get notified by clicking this or just skip the remaining steps. So it's up to you. But you just need to make sure you apply the human in the loop in which you do basic cross or fact checking, and then also uh, you apply the human decision making where it's up to you if you think that the response is already accurate or you need to refine it by yourself. So what it means is that you are a type of person who's collaborating with the technology. Let's say you're collaborating with AI to ensure that it effectively does the job for you. Okay, so it's still working. So it says here strategic opportunity, matrix plotting, market potential. We can actually check it here if we pull this up, or you can also um, click the chart earlier. So we can check it here. Let's see if it's already giving us any additional resources. Now, it's very important for us to include like visual presentations, especially for kinesthetic learners, which means that these people are the ones who are able to fully grasp and understand data on a visual representation. Like, for example, heat maps, charts, and it also helps leadership when it comes to a much effective and better decision making. Okay, so it's still showing that it's still generating the response. So it says here creating charts. So let's just go ahead and just allow it for a couple of minutes. So it's still showing us like the Python programming, the code interpreter graph. So we can try to click this and let's see what we can see here. Then you can just click X if you wanted to close this window. Okay, so as we can see here, it gives us the Gen AI and R&D impact versus adoption. So like drug discovery, production prototype, market intel, customer insight, predictive analysis, quality control, feature ideation, risk assessment. And then we can try to take a quick peek into the assets again. Okay, so I think this is the most recent one that it generated. And this one, if we click this, you can also either download this, copy this. So you can just click this or hover into this. So it says here, it's giving us the data on customer complaints rate, defect rate, first pass deal, mean time to failure, and then we can just go back to what Perplexity is trying to work on. Okay, so there you go. So it's still showing that it's still working, so make sure that you don't click stop generate content, but it's already giving us the rest of the content, like the executive summary, and then the R&D deep research report, like it's also giving us the heat map, and then the critical quality control KPI scores. So if we scroll further, so as we can see, it's already generating the content. Now, just to show you how you can fact check it. So you will notice these hyperlinks. So the purpose of these hyperlinks is basically Perplexity just wants to show you where they got that specific proper section. Let's say for this example, it's saying here that primary research involves first-hand data collection through surveys, interviews, focus groups, and observational studies. So you can also click these, hover to these materials. So you have a way to cross-check or fact-check it on your own. And then as we can see, it's not yet finished, but it's already giving us some of the visual um, presentations that we have requested earlier. It says here product development comparison, like for example, agile, lean startup, design thinking, waterfall, and then this report that we checked earlier. And then it's giving us like the Gen AI application strategy for research and development. So all you have to do is to scroll them all the way. It's even giving us the RAG workflow component, like where to pull the data, like using knowledge-based preparation, data ingestion, query processing, retrieval, generation. And then it's giving us the necessary recommendation. Let's say for research and development teams, immediate action, 0 to 3 months. And then also it's saying here to implement primary research program focused on price sensitivity and personalization needs. And then if we all scroll down a little bit, it's also giving us it's like the estimated roadmap. It's up to you if you wanted to implement it or not. And then it's giving us like the product management teams, roadmap cadence, and then customer experience priorities. And then it's saying here that it's already giving us like the reliability check section. So what Perplexity is doing right now, it's already comprehensively creating the content based from the deep research that it has conducted a few minutes ago. Okay, so it's saying here confidence level assessment. High confidence is about 75% of findings. Then again, if you wanted to do a fact check, you can actually check on these resources. So there's actually a lot of it. And then let's go back here. It says here it's giving us the low confidence percentage and then the limitations of the analysis. So basically, it's already giving us and generating the content. So would you imagine that like when you're working on a deep research that usually takes you like like hours, days, or even weeks to complete, you can just actually do it on your behalf in less than 30 minutes to a maximum of an hour. Like right now, this demo, as we speak, we have already generated a content which just took us less than 20 minutes to complete. But then again, you need to make sure to apply the human in the loop using your best human judgment to ensure that you are able to grasp or get the most optimal result that you want using Gen AI applications for your deep research, specifically for research and development. And that's all for today for showing. Thank you for participating on this demo, which is an enterprise grade Gen AI deep research for R&D using Perplexity. That's all. Thank you so much.